You just drove off the dealership lot with that brand new SUV you've always dreamed of. That new car smell, the pristine seats, that engine roar when you hit the gas for the first time. Everything seems perfect, right? But what if I told you that thousands of Americans are getting rid of their dream SUV in less than 12 months? And look, we're not talking about cheap cars here. We're talking about models that cost anywhere from $30,000 to over $100,000. What's going on? A recent automotive market survey analyzed resale patterns and came to a shocking discovery. Some popular SUVs in the United States have first-year resale rates that surprised even the experts. And it's not just because of high fuel consumption or gas prices. No. The reasons run much deeper and might make you reconsider that purchase you're planning. Want to find out which models these are, and especially why so many people give up on them so quickly? Then stick with me until the end of this video, because number one on the list will blow your mind. And hey, before we continue, if you're thinking about buying an SUV or already have one, leave a comment below with the model. I want to know if you agree with this list or if your experience was different. And go ahead and hit that like button so we can reach more people who need to know this information before making a decision that could cost them big time. Let's start with number 6 on our list. The Jeep Compass is one of the best-selling SUVs in America. Beautiful design, that adventurous look, good city driving. But why are so many owners selling it before it hits 1 year? Let's look at the facts. The first problem that frequently appears in owner reports is city fuel economy. A lot of people buy the Compass expecting reasonable economy, especially in the regular gas versions. But in practice, driving in heavy traffic in major American cities, the consumption disappoints, and with gas prices above $4 a gallon in many places. This weighs on the monthly budget in a way that many people weren't prepared for. But it doesn't stop there. Electrical failures are another critical point. Imagine leaving home, pressing the start button, and simply nothing happens. Total electrical failure. Or the infotainment system that freezes, doesn't respond, restarts on its own. For a car in this price range, expect it to be premium. This is unacceptable. And look, I'm not making this up. Just go into Compass owner groups, and you'll see hundreds of similar reports. Noises during driving also really bothered people. Sounds coming from the brakes, shocks, even from the engine in some situations. That feeling of comfort and quality you expect from an SUV simply doesn't materialize in day-to-day use. And the rest more mechanical problems in the sway bar bushings and defects in the 9-speed automatic transmission, especially in the 4-wheel drive versions, generate maintenance costs that nobody was expecting in the first year of use. The Compass's depreciation is another worrying factor. The model loses value faster than other SUVs in the same category. So when the owner decides to sell, they take a bigger hit than they imagined. Add that to dealership after-sales support that often can't solve problems efficiently. And you have the perfect recipe for someone wanting to get rid of the car quickly and move on to another option. Now let's move to number 5. The Volkswagen Taos. This one's interesting because it came with a proposal to be Volkswagen's mid-size SUV with modern technology, good interior space, and that German brand appeal. But the reality has been different for many American owners. The VW digital cockpit infotainment system, which should be a highlight of the model, has become a headache. Apps that freeze, constant crashes, sluggishness in responding to commands. For those buying a car expecting cutting-edge technology, this is hugely frustrating. And going to the dealership doesn't help because often the answer is that it needs a software update. But the problem keeps coming back. There are also wheel noises caused by axle failures that have been reported in multiple units. This calls into question the entire reliability of the model. If a new car already shows this type of problem, what can you expect from it 3-4 years down the line? The Taos's transmission is another controversial point. It can be slow in gear changes and has difficulties with harder accelerations. Like when you need to make a quick pass on the highway. The engine has good power, but the transmission doesn't keep up. And for those paying in the range of $35,000, this doesn't make sense. The interior finish also disappointed many people. The plastics used on the dashboard and doors are considered below expectations for a model in this price range when you compare it with other SUVs in the same category, or even with the Tiguan, which is larger. The Taos doesn't convey that sense of sophistication and luxury it should. And hey, before revealing the next entries, if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notification bells. We post videos every week about SUVs, reviews, comparisons, Everything you need to know before buying your next car. And leave a comment saying if you've had any of these problems or know someone who went through this. We've reached number 4. And now, things get more premium. We're talking about the BMW X3, a true German SUV with a powerful engine, top-tier finish, cutting-edge technology. But then why are Americans selling it so quickly? The first point is comfort on irregular roads. The X3 has a sport suspension designed for performance, for curves at high speed, for Europe's perfect roads. But here, in America, with potholes, poorly made speed bumps, patched asphalt, the stiff suspension transmits everything into the cabin. You feel every irregularity, and for those using the vehicle every day, this becomes torture. Fuel consumption is another serious problem. Even being a powerful car, the expense is way too high, especially in the city. And with premium gas costing over $5 a gallon, which is recommended for this type of engine, the monthly cost is scary. Some people report averages of 15, 17 miles per gallon in city traffic. For an SUV that costs over $60,000, this doesn't make sense. But the worst is really the maintenance cost. Imported parts, specialized labor, service appointments, that has hourly costs $2,000–$3,000. And we're talking about preventive maintenance, okay? If something breaks and needs replacing, prepare your wallet. Many owners compare the X3's maintenance costs with other premium SUVs from Audi or Mercedes and realize that the BMW comes out much more expensive. Long term, this adds up. Depreciation is also pronounced. The X3 loses value faster than direct competitors. So those who bought thinking of reselling after a year or two take a considerable loss. And the entertainment system, despite being advanced, isn't as intuitive as competitors. Cell phone connectivity problems, navigation that crashes, these things that really irritate in daily use. Number 3 is also from BMW. The X1, this is the brand's entry-level SUV. More affordable, designed for those who want to have a BMW without spending as much. But is it worth it? The stiff suspension is a problem here. Again, for those seeking sporty driving, it might be cool. But for Americans who need to face potholes, speed bumps, and bad asphalt every day, this becomes a nightmare. The car transmits everything inside, creating discomfort on trips and especially in city traffic. Many people expected more comfort from a luxury SUV and get frustrated quickly. Interior space also disappoints when compared with competitors like the Audi Q3. The trunk could be bigger. The rear space doesn't impress much, and ergonomics on long trips leaves something to be desired. Some owners complain that on trips of more than 150 miles they start to feel uncomfortable. Expensive maintenance is constant with BMWs, and the X1 is no different. Parts costs are high, and recurring problems like premature wear of engine and transmission components increase expenses even more. There's also the issue of run-flat tires, which are standard on BMW. They're expensive, and many owners end up switching to conventional tires to save money. But this can affect the car's performance. Fuel consumption in the X1, despite having a smaller engine than the X3, is still high for city use. And when you add high consumption, expensive maintenance, and depreciation, many owners prefer to sell quickly and move to other options that offer better value. So, are you surprised by the list so far? Wait, because we still have the top 2. And believe me, the problems are even more serious. But first, leave a comment. Would you buy any of these SUVs, even knowing about these problems? Or have you already had one of them? Share your experience. And don't forget to hit that like button to help more people see this content. We've reached the runner-up on our list, the Land Rover Evoque. This one's interesting because it's a car that turns heads wherever it goes. Sophisticated design, luxurious interior, that premium British brand appeal, but the problems are serious. The Evoque's turbo engine has a classic problem: lag in throttle response. You step on the accelerator and the car takes time to respond. When it finally responds, everything comes at once. Abruptly, this totally compromises driving smoothness and creates an uncomfortable feeling, especially in traffic. The start-stop system, which should save fuel by turning off the engine it stops, is way too slow to reactivate. Imagine you're stopped at a traffic light. The light turns green. You take your foot off the brake and the car takes 2–3 seconds to restart the engine. In American traffic, especially in Los Angeles, New York, this becomes a reason for honking and stress. The Evoque's sports suspension, just like the BMWs, transmits all road irregularities to the occupants. The ride becomes uncomfortable, especially on potholed roads that are common in many regions across America. For a car that costs over $50,000, the comfort level is below expectations. But the worst is really the maintenance and repair cost. Parts are super expensive. Insurance is one of the highest in the category, and reliability leaves much to be desired. Electrical and mechanical problems appear early, often still under warranty, and dealerships can't always solve them definitively. About 11% of Evoque owners sell the car with less than 1 year of use. This is a very high number for a vehicle in this category. Many trade for SUVs that offer better value, more comfort and reliability, even if they lose a bit in design. And now, it's time to reveal number 1, the SUV that most disappoints Americans in the first year of ownership. Brace yourself, because this one is by far the worst. Land Rover Discovery Sport. The Discovery Sport seems perfect on paper. Large SUV, capacity for 7 people, sophisticated design, premium brand. But in practice, it's a nightmare for many American owners. The 2.0 turbo engine with 250 horsepower seems powerful, but the response is slow. During passing and climbs, the car doesn't have the force you expect. The transmission hesitates and gear changes, seems like it's in doubt about which gear to use. This totally compromises the driving experience, especially on highways where you need quick responses. But the mechanical and electronic problems are the real terror. Suspension system failures, engine components that show premature defects, interior noises that don't stop even after several dealership visits. Engine overheating and turbo failures, especially in diesel models, are chronic problems that appear with frightening frequency. There are owners who report going to the dealership 5-6 times to try to solve the same problem and simply can't. Interior noises persist, column failures return, and the worst, maintenance costs are we're talking about service appointments that easily exceed $3,000, parts that cost double or triple those of competing SUVs. The Discovery Sport's depreciation is brutal. The car loses value very quickly, much more than other premium SUVs. So when the owner decides to sell, the loss is huge. Add that to the reputation for low reliability that the model has gained in the American market, and you have the perfect recipe for the most resold SUV in the first year. Many buyers get into this thinking they'll have a family car, comfortable, reliable, that will last years. But the reality is that within a few months, they already looking to get rid of the vehicle to avoid more headaches and financial loss. So, is it clear how SUVs aren't always just glamour? That dream car can turn into a nightmare that weighs on owners' wallets and hearts. The problems we highlighted in this video apply to most versions of these models sold in the United States. Of course, some problems may vary, depending on the engine, equipment level, drivetrain type, and year of manufacture. But the reports are consistent enough to raise an alert. And look, this video doesn't intend to tarnish the reputation of these brands or models. We're just here sharing information collected from various reliable websites, owner forums, discussion groups, and real consumer reports. Before making your purchase decision, consider everything we discussed here, but also seek other opinions. Other owners' experiences can be valuable and help you make the best choice. After all, buying a car is a big financial commitment. We're talking about investments ranging from $30,000 to over $100,000. You deserve to have all the information at your fingertips before signing that contract. If you want to know more about what's really worth it when choosing your SUV, which models really deliver what they promise, what the best value options are, stick with us here on the channel. Every week, there's a new video with detailed reviews, comparisons, maintenance tips, everything you need to know about the SUV world. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss any video, and hit that super like so the algorithm understands this content is important and shows it to more people. And of course, share this video with that friend or family member who's thinking about buying an SUV. You might be saving them from a huge financial loss. Also, leave a comment with which SUV you have or which one you're thinking of buying. Let's exchange experiences and information. The more we share knowledge, the better it gets for everyone when making decisions. See you in the next video with more hot information and deep analysis about the SUV universe. Until then, drive safely and think carefully before signing any contract. Bye-bye.